Hey, this is Ryan from Prasara Primer. I've been doing yoga for 17 years now. Most of those years I've also been teaching yoga. And today I'd like to talk a little bit about some misconceptions about yoga. There are three big ones. The first one is that yoga is hard. Listen, I'll be honest with you, as you progress into the higher stages of yoga, it gets pretty difficult. There's some tough poses. And yeah, when you first begin, you have to hold some of these poses for a long time to get some of the benefits. But it's also got to be fun. And that's a really cool thing about Prasara Yoga. We have fun. The movements are flowing. We're not just standing around holding a pose for a minute or 5 minutes at a time. Using our whole body, going from pose to pose, and trying to get into the flow. Which brings us to our next misconception. Yoga is boring. Boring? Well, yeah, if you're standing in a pose for 5 minutes, it's boring. But like I said, Prasara Yoga is not simply about standing around in one simple pose for minutes upon minutes of time. We go from pose to pose. We have fun in our movements. Believe me, I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't fun. Last misconception is that yoga is only for women. Yeah, yoga is for women, but us guys are the ones who really need it the most. If you want to improve your athletic performance, or in anything that you're doing right now, you gotta get into yoga, and Prasara Yoga is the yoga for you. So why is Prasara Yoga good for athletes? As I mentioned before, Prasara Yoga focuses on the movements between the poses. As an athlete, you know that we just don't stand there. We move around, whether it be on the soccer pitch, the football field, or basketball court, wherever you are. We're constantly moving. Now, in a typical yoga practice, people are standing there in their poses. I'm not saying that that kind of yoga is bad. All I'm saying is that as athletes, we need a yoga that will focus on the movements and prepare us to make a better and stronger body so that we don't get injured during our sports. That's where Prasara Yoga excels. Prasara Yoga is all about flow. Flow is that state where everything that you're doing just seems to happen naturally and effortlessly. The Prasara Primer can help you achieve that flow state. The Prasara Primer includes 5 flows. Each of those flows is divided into 3 sections: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Within each of those levels, it's once again divided into 3 sections, so it's very easy to follow along. To wrap things up, if you're an athlete and you're not using yoga, you're really shortchanging yourself. Prasara Yoga was specifically designed for the demands of the modern athlete. You owe it to yourself to get the latest release of the Prasara Primer.